Hello everyone, welcome Lead School at Home. We have started third chapter of history in unit 4, that is the making of global world. In this chapter we have studied about the first point, that is the pre-modern world. In that we have seen about silk routes link the world, then food travels, spaghetti and potatoes. Then we have studied about conquest, disease and trade. Then we have seen second point in this chapter, just one point we have seen, that is world economy take shape of the 19th century 1815 to 1914. Now we will study the second point, that is the role of technology. Please student, put your textbook in front of you while watching this video and be ready with your pen, pencil and notebook. What was the role of technology in all this? This question is there. Now the answer: the railways, steamships, the telegraph, for example, were important inventions without which we cannot imagine the transformed 19th century world. Means in a 19th century there were inventions in the railways, steamships, the telegraph were there. But technological advances were often the result of larger social, political, and economic factors. But technological advances were often the result of larger social, political, and economic factors. For example, colonization stimulated new investments and improvements in transport. Faster railways, higher wagons, and larger ships help move food more cheaply and quickly from faraway farms to final markets. Means after colonization stimulated, now meaning of stimulated means to arouse, invest and excitement, new investment and improvement in transport. And because of invention, faster railways, lighter wagons and larger ships help move the product in cheaply and quickly from farms to final market. Now student, we will move on to the next page. On this page one figure is there, that is figure number 8, the Smithfield Club cattle show, illustrated London News 1851. Cattle were traded at fairs brought by farmers for sale. One of the oldest livestock market in London was at Smithfield. Means it was the oldest livestock market in London at Smithfield. In the mid 19th century, a huge poultry and meat market was established near the railway line connecting Smithfield to all the meat supplying centers of the country. Now we will move towards paragraph. The trade in meat offers a good example of this connected process. Means after the invention of railways, steamships, meat offers a good example of this connected process. Till the 1870s, animals were shipped live from America to Europe and then slaughtered when they arrived there. And in the year 1870s, animals were shipped live from America and then slaughtered when they arrived in Europe. But live animal took up a lot of sheep space. But one problem was that live animals took lot of sheep space. Many also died in voyage, fell ill, lost weight, or become unfit to eat. And next problem was that in the transportation on the sea, many animals were died. Some become fell ill, some lost weight or became unfit to eat. Meat was hence an expensive luxury beyond the reach of the European poor, and hence became an expensive luxury beyond the reach of the European poor. High prices in turn kept demand and production down until the development of a new technology, and prices were high up to the development of a new technology, namely refrigerated ships, which enabled the transport of perishable foods over long distance. And invention happened, that is refrigerated ships enabled the transport of perishable food over long distance. Now we will move towards on next paragraph. Now animals were slaughtered food for food at the starting point in America, Australia or New Zealand. Now animals were slaughtered for food at the starting point in America, Australia or New Zealand, and then transported to Europe as frozen meat, and then it transported to Europe as a frozen meat. This reduced shipping cost and lowered meat prices in Europe. And after this innovation of a refrigerated ship and some problem of slaughter, the prices reduced and also reduced shipping cost in Europe. The poor in Europe could now consume a more varied diet, and it helps in varied diet in Europe. To the earlier monotony of bread and potatoes, many, though not all, could now add meat and butter and eggs. Now, meaning of monotony means dullness, wearisome routine. Dullness or wearisome routine, that is a meaning of monotony. Of bread and potatoes, many, though not all, could now add meat and butter and eggs to their diet. Better living conditions promoted social peace within the country and support for imperialism abroad. And better living condition promoted in the Europe for social peace within the country and also support for imperialism abroad. See, here one figure is there, that is figure number 9. Meat being loaded onto the ship. Alexandra Illustrated London News in the year 1878. Export of meat was possible only after ships were refrigerated. Now we will move towards the next 2.3. Late 19th century colonialism. Trade flourished and markets expanded in the late 19th century, but this was not only a period of expanding trade and increased prosperity. Means trade flourished and market expanded in the 19th century because of arriving innovation in the transportation, then in storage facilities, then steamship railways. But this was not only a period of expanding trade and increased prosperity. It is important to realize that there was a darker side to this process. Means, on the other hand, there was a darker side to this process. In many parts of the world, the expansion of trade and closer relationship with the world economy also meant a loss of freedoms and livelihoods. And the darker side is that in many parts of the world, the expansion of trade and a closer relationship with the world economy also meant a loss of freedom and livelihood. Later, 19th century European conquests produced many painful economic, social, and ecological changes through which the colonized societies were brought into the world economy. Means late 19th century European conquest produced many painful economic, social, as well as ecological changes through which the colonized societies were brought into the world economy. Now we will move towards on next page. Look at a map of Africa. Figure number 10 means this is. You will see some countries' borders run straight as if they were drawn using a ruler. See here, straight line is there, again straight, this also straight, this is also straight, here, then here, here. Means we will see the straight lines in this map in between two countries. Well, in fact, this was almost how rival European powers in Africa drew up the borders, demarcating their respective territories, and that boundary show the respective territories. In 1885, the big European powers met in Berlin to complete the carving up of Africa between them. And in the year 1885, the big European powers met in Berlin to complete the carving up of Africa between them. Now we will move towards our next paragraph. Britain and France made vast additions to their overseas territories in the late 19th century. Britain and France made vast additions to their overseas territories in the late 19th century. Belgium and Germany became new colonial powers, and Belgium and Germany became new colonial powers. The US also became a colonial power in the late 1890s by taking over some colonies earlier held by Spain. And the US also became a colonial power in the year 1890s by taking over some colonies earlier held by Spain. Let us look at one example of the destructive impact of colonialism on the economy and livelihoods of colonized people. And example of destructive impact of colonialism on the economy and livelihoods of colonized people. And this is when we see the map. This is a figure number 10. I have told you already. We will just read the heading of this figure. Map of colonial Africa at the end of the 19th century. Now after that, one box is there, that is the box number 2. Box number we have seen already that. Here in box number 2, just we will see what is there in this box. Box number 2, figure number 11, Sir Henry Morton Stanley and his retinue in Central Africa, illustrated London News, 1871. Sir Henry Morton Stanley in Central Africa. Stanley was a journalist and explorer sent by the New York Herald to find Livingstone, a missionary and explorer who had been in Africa for several years. Like other European and American explorers of the time, Stanley went with arms, mobilized local hunters, warriors, and laborers to help him, fought with the local tribes, investigated African terrains, and mapped different regions. These explorations helped the conquest of Africa. Geographical explorations were not driven by an innocent search for scientific information. They were directly linked to imperial projects. Now we will move on to the next page. 2.4 Rinderpest or the cattle plague. In Africa, in the 1890s, a fast spreading disease of cattle plague or Rinderpest had a terrifying impact on people's livelihoods and the local economy. Means in the year 1890s, one disease has spread, that is a Rinderpest or the cattle plague, and impact on people's livelihood and the local economy. That is a good example of the widespread European imperial impact on colonized societies, and it was a good example of the widespread European imperial impact on colonized societies. It shows how, in this era of conquest, even a disease affecting cattle reshaped the lives and fortunes for thousands of people and their relations with the rest of the world. And it shows, in this era of conquest, even diseases affecting cattle reshape the lives and fortunes of thousands of people and their relations with the rest of the world. Now we will move on to the next paragraph. Historical Africa had abundant land and a relatively small population. Means in Africa, abundant land was there and a relatively small population was there on that time. For centuries, land and livestock sustained Africa livelihoods, and people rarely work for a wage, and people in Africa lived on their wage. In late 19th century Africa, there were few consumers goods that wages could buy, and in late 19th century Africa, there were few consumers goods that wages could buy. If you had been an African possessing land and livestock, and there was plenty of both, you too would have seen little reason to work for a wage. If you had been an African possessing land and livestock, and there was a plenty of both, you too would have seen little reason to work for a wage. Now in the next paragraph, in the late 19th century, Europeans were attracted to Africa due to its vast resources of land and minerals. In late 19th century, Europeans attracted towards the vast resources of land and minerals in Africa. Europeans came to Africa hoping to establish plantation and mines to produce crops and minerals for export to Europe, and their aim to establish plantations and mines to produce crop and minerals for export to Europe. But their was an unexpected problem. That problem was a shortage of labor willing to work for wages. Now, on the next paragraph, employers used many methods to recruit and retain labor. Means many method has used to recruit and retain laborers. Heavy taxes were imposed which could be paid only by working for wages on plantations and mines, and heavy taxes were imposed which would be paid only by working for wages on plantations and mines. Inheritance laws were changed so that an inheritance laws were changed. Now here one figure is there, that is figure number 12. Transport to the Transvaal gold mines, the graphic in the year 1887. Crossing the village river was the quickest method of transport to the gold field of Transvaal. After the discovery of gold in Witwatersrand, European rush to the region despite their fear of disease and death and the difficulties of the journey. By the 1890s, South Africa contributed over 20% of the world gold production. Now again, here one image is there below side, that is the figure number 13. Diggers at work in the Transvaal gold fields in South Africa. The graphic in the year 1875. Now we will move towards on next page. Peasants were displaced from land. Only one member of a family was allowed to inherit land, as a result of which the others were pushed into the labor market. Means changes has happened in the inherent. Only one member of the family was allowed to inherit land, and the result was which the others were pushed into the labor market. Mine workers were also confined in compounds and not allowed to move about freely. And mine workers were also confined in compounds and not allowed to move about freely. Then came render pest, devastating cattle diseases. Now this devastating, meaning of devastating means to lay waste. Rinderpest arrived in Africa in the late 1880s. It was carried by infected cattle imported from British Asia to feed the Italian soldiers invading Eritrea in East Africa. And that rinderpest, that disease arrived in Africa in the year 1880s, and it was carried by infected cattle imported from British Asia to feed the Italian soldiers. Entering Africa in the east, rinderpest moved west like forest fire, reaching Africa's Atlantic coast in the year 1892, and it spread in Africa in the year 1892. It reached the Cape It means Africa's southernmost trip. 5 years later, along the way, Rinderpest killed 90% of the cattle. Means because of Rinderpest diseases, killed 90% of the cattle. Now we will move on to the next paragraph. The loss of cattle destroyed African livelihoods, and that loss of cattle destroyed African livelihoods. Planters, mine owners, and colonial governments now successfully monopolized what scarce cattle resources remain to strengthen their power and to force Africans into the labor market. Planters, mine owners, and colonial governments now successfully monopolized what scarce cattle resources remained to strengthen their power and to force Africans into the labor market. Control over the scarce resource of cattle enabled European colonizers to conquer and subdue Africa. Now, when we see the word is subdue means to overcome, means control over the scarce resources of cattle enabled European colonizers to conquer and to overcome Africa. Similar stories can be told about the impact of Western conquest on other parts of the 19th century world. And similar story can be told about the impact of Western conquest on other parts of the 19th century. Now today we will stop here. Next point we will see in next video. If any query is there, any difficulty is there, please student ask. Definitely I will solve that problem. Thank you.